Busting the world's
Did you know
oldest
Jesus
conspiracy by
defines Holy
revealing the
Spirit?
first writer's
In Mark
formats
chapter
in the Bible.
13, verse
Have you ever
11,
wondered who is
the
editing
yellow
the Bible?
highlighted
These
text
are
that
some
you
of the
see,
words written by the
Jesus teaches
1611 King
sometimes the
James
words people say
translators
are not
that
their
are
own
wrote in its
words.
preface.
The words are
They
from
state
or
4 reasons
by
how anyone
Holy
can
Spirit.
re-edit the text
And
in the
in
Bible.
Matthew
Their
chapter
third reason
10,
is by the
verse
light and
20,
feeling we
Jesus
attained
teaches,
unto ourselves.
Holy Spirit is our
The next
Father's
arrow down
word
points to
speaking
them
from your
writing,
mouth.
a great clerk,
Now, I did some
Gregory,
editing in the
is
blue
the
and
divine,
green highlighting,
spelled with a capital D.
and the word in.
At the bottom,
and
they
I
will
had
tell
to
you by
add
studying the
word
Bible,
through,
your reward
because
is
we
to have a
4
participation in
examples
a
of our
heavenly
Father's
nature.
words.
Whereas the
first
Bible's word should be
example,
telling you how to
Luke
be
chapter
obedient
1,
to our
verse
Creator to enter into heaven.
67
Now you
tells
know
us
by
when
their own
Zacharias
words
declared
they are not the
John's
good guys
the Baptist
editing
life,
the Bible.
these words had to
Here,
be
let
said
me show
by
you
our
the 12
Creator,
commandments
for he
that are listed in
prophesied
Exodus
John's
chapter
life.
20,
The
verses 1
second
through
example
17.
we have is Luke
Surprising,
chapter
isn't it?
1, verse
Now
41.
let me show you how I
When
changed
out of
one
Elizabeth's
word in
mouth
Exodus
she
chapter
declared
26,
Mary's son
verse
is
26.
blessed.
The word
These
bars
two
to
verses
arches,
prove
and
their
now you know
words
that these
were
planks
our
make the
Creator's
hip roof
words
for the
coming from
tent
their
for meeting for
mouths.
Yv.
The third
Why
and
did I
fourth
just use
example
2
are
letters
in
for our
Luke
Creator's
chapter
name?
12,
Well, Hebrews
verse
did not
12,
have
and Matthew
the letters
chapter
J,
12,
O, or
verse
W in their
28,
language.
where
Therefore,
Jesus
I am
teaches
closer
our
when I
Creator's
say
words
the
will be
letters
said in their
YV
mind,
in
and then
English
they are
than
to say
anyone
His
else.
words. Other examples.
Well, I guess I kind of messed that up. I didn't notice how I was doubling the voice up there. Anyways, I tried to play the introduction, and it when I clicked to get rid of the sign of the chapter that I'm working on, I clicked the wrong button there. So let me see. I got to do one more thing to set this up. YouTube is not cooperating again today. But it says my stream is okay. Now it's okay. This is chapter 16, and this is what I've done, and what I'm introducing you to is to the 2 kings. And so far it has been in order of the kings. So here, or I've been making it in order of the kings anyway. Pekah is for Israel, and Ezek is for Judah. So when I say that, oops, I got to show you the, let's see, recent, the king's timeline here that I made. It's going to need some correcting on a few things, but this is the king here, right here for Israel. And we got introduced to this king a little earlier before, but there was just a rough mention, and I kind of said that that's out of place. So it'll be moving. And then here is the other king. Now, what we don't have is the story of this king yet, what happened at his time, and these 2 kings as well as this king. To also introduce you to what's going on here. This is the nation Israel. This is the nation Judah. These have been taken, and then I believe these 2 have been returned. And by that, I'm saying these 2 areas don't return, but this is Damascus or Aram's, and across the top is Aram's territory. And the problem here that I found in the text, that when Assyria come down and was taken captives, they bypassed Aram, but you know that can't be possible. So that's why I did throw out some text before, and now I guess I should, let's see if I got that map up here again. Samaria is the capital for city of nation Israel, and Judah, or Jerusalem down here, is for Judah. So with that in mind, I want to show you the hidden formats that I'm claiming that are in the Hebrew text. I'm using 2 major words, connecting them with the least amount of words in each verse. And if I need to make up that verse, because you can see that I've got a lot of text missing here to make it 3 verse. But that's what I do to get to the 3 verse, or all the verses, I guess. The first one in a 3 verse is a statement, so I usually end it with a period. Then this comma and this period make it more or less like a sentence that define the statement. And this becomes a small paragraph, and then they wrote 2 paragraphs together to make it a larger paragraph, and that's why you'll see a double spacing, and then it repeats itself as the format. And then I don't have the text that goes here, but because I know that they're paired together, I put in it's missing. All right, now this is the king for Assyria. And this guy here is the next king. So the story will probably start out with this king, I believe, or should. So now this king that's right off mentioned right here is wrong. Now this king here is up here. Oops. Okay. He is the, oops. He is the king for Israel on this side, right here. Okay, so you know that now he's an Israeli king, but you notice I got it, he's king of Judah. Okay, so to make this king of Judah correctly, we've been talking about his Zeke. Okay, so if I put this down here as being correct, and not this one, and say 4, and this is what I do. I'll edit by changing the word. I'll make it green, and then I'm going to say I'm getting rid of this word, and I'm replacing this word with this word. And if the first writer's writing from Judah, then I first person it this way by saying king. Whoops, I've got a shortcut here already made up. And what I do is I use this to mean Judah when it's a good nation, or Israel will be a good nation. It'll be all in capital letters, and then it'll be in small capital letters, bold, to mean that they're evil at that time. So this is saying in the 12th year for Hezekiah, king for Judah, this guy became king over Israel. So let's see here. Hezekiah has got 35 years, and I've got it more or less that it's at about 25 years, or 20 years, 22 years, so something like that. So let's see here. It can't be 12 years. So to do this right, it would have to be 2 10s, because that's the way they wrote their numbers. And since I'm adding, I use that. 2 20s, and I'll get rid of this. In the 20th, in other words, in the 20th year for Hezekiah, our king for Judah, from Ika became king And let me get the right notation here for, because right now for this king, I don't know. When I was reading and cutting this story up, it sounds like this guy is going to be a good king. So this might have to change to be all capitals. King over since I've got a 3 verse. Israel and Samaria. And he ruled. Then it would have to be, and I gotta use the word 9 here. Now this is not right. Oops, let me save this. I think I got the right 9 years in the timeline here. So it's 9 years. So what's going on with the text? In the 20th year for his sake, our king for Judah. Okay, now what I've been doing, I guess, is I've been making the king's youngest son, so, and I've been having to add this. And they're following the pattern from David appointing Solomon. So it's not like it's nothing new. It's just that a lot of people, it comes out in the text this way when I'm doing this text. It did. And I'm just replacing these, so I'm going to get rid of this. Oops. Here, and I'm adding this word. So now I've got these two as a group, and then this one needs another one. He did evil in the sight of YV. Now, here's the problem when I'm doing the text. I have made capital letters on these kings that were good and made small letters that they were evil kings. And this guy I've got to correct to make sure that he gets told as a good king. So I've got good kings and bad kings over here. But if I'm talking about here, his fathers would have been the last 3, or 1, 2, 3 forefathers. Only not as the kings of Israel who were before him. Now see, that all of a sudden goes to a 4 verse. Now, and this is the wrong king. I'll show you how that shows up different here, and I'm using the other one. I can't use the word up, so I'm going to get rid of that. To war with Against has to be the word war, so war is going to go here. And I'm going to say this, I'm adding this, I'm going to get rid of. This I'm changing it to with this king. I added this word. And now, see, this comes back to a 3 verse. This is not true. He actually came down and conquered them. I have a piece already done that he's going to take these 3 areas, or these are the only 3 areas left that had the first people living on the land. The others that he's king over are these, but they've all been taken captives already. So to get that on the screen, you can see only the last 3 tribes here, or even a half tribe, 2.5 tribes here. Or yeah, 3 tribes, excuse me. So here I should have only 3. And he did evil like the kings for Israel. See, now that's so far they're evil who were before him. So that would be the one that's not needed. And now I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I've got those 2 as a group, those 2 as a group, and you can see that now we're starting another story. Sometimes in another story, though, it would be a 4 verse. So I'm not going to use this guy. But I got to leave a space there because in the text above here, it was this king that I had to put in for Syria. So I'm going to put him back in here, right here. And his name is going to start popping up here. So let's see. If this king waited, the war started at the 28th year. So I have I think there's going to be a story where there was no real king. I haven't seen that yet appear in this text, but then it was this year. So you can see it was going to be the same king pretty much. So we don't need to change kings of Assyria. See, this conspiracy who is sent to messengers. Now, he wouldn't sent to Egypt to come help him in battle of them. And right now, the King Hezekiah, he has already, he doesn't have a strong army. Let's put it that way. He relied on our Creator through Isaiah to repel his messenger when he comes up to the front gates of Jerusalem. So See, he bound him in prison. That is, he couldn't do that. He would have had to capture him. He wouldn't just bound him. He would have took the rest of him, and that's what the story. See, the king. It's not then. It's the king for Assyria. And captured the rest of, because Samaria, that was a fortified city that most likely they burned down Syria the first time when they came through, because that's what they were. The text has been telling me that's how they made sure that the people didn't reestablish themselves as a kingdom or a nation. So the thing here is they did burn all the cities, and so the people didn't have nowhere to go, because a lot of times when they did war, it would be in the summer, and then they would burn their fields so they didn't have food to go back to. So when they went as captives, it was kind of convincing them that there's no hope for you back that way. So that's why they were let it. You have to understand all that. And it does come out in the text, but not in these stories here. But it has to be, uh, has to be captured. Yeah, here, this is what it is. It would have to be, you had to, this has to be like the word, whoops, again, he battled for all the, now this, uh, this is promised lands, and I'm saying all here, so this has to be um, well, for all the lands has to be S, which is the last three. Now, at some point, I've got to put those three in here. So, like, this place didn't exist. They wouldn't have besieged it. For 3 years. They had an army that just mowed through them last time, and our Creator's given them up, and there's prophecies of this warning, but that's, I think, in Ezekiel and Malachi, Micah, one of those prophets have the warnings that Israel's going to, all the nation Israel is going to go into captivity. See, in the 9th year would have been his last year. So again, that makes sense. Their king. And Syria. Yep, 9th. Here's the 9 years, but this is the story, so it's got to be in the 9th year. This has got to be the word Israel. I don't know where he was at, what city the king was in. Oops, I better do all these. I'm adding this verse here, and I don't know. Now, I know they had another capital city. They've had 3. They had Bethel. Okay, it's going to be he was ruling from this city in here. And that is that city that's been popping up. That's something I learned new here myself. It's here. Okay. It's Syria's army. Captured or took. Took. Israel's. Yeah, I'm going to use the word away to Syria. Well, the thing about Assyria, it is Turkey, and I do believe, according to the maps I've got, whoops, I haven't got that out yet either. So they're on the Mediterranean. So they're saying they took them somewhere here. There's going to be a harbor. So they took them to here. I'd say someplace in here. Okay. So, and settled them by and they didn't settle them. They placed. Now, this would be the second group that they're doing. So here, I gotta say the word placed better than settled, and place them by this city. Now, so this can't be here. And so this, the river, whatever, and in the cities, and in the towns, they're smaller than cities. So they wouldn't be bringing the enemy into the capital city. In the towns, I'm going to put by meads. So I'm going to use that, but this I'm going to combine together. This happened. This happened because Israel's sinned against. Maybe put it in first person. Our creator. Now this, as you can see, is a 4 verse. You could get rid of this by saying the word they. Yeah, I'm going to do that. If I put in they, I can get rid of this. They sinned against YV, and I can put all this. And it's not that they sinned. They sinned by rejecting YV. Now we don't need all this. And this has been told over and over why. So this, and we already know, because once I mesh it together with the other prophecies, this will be just redundant. I know the other prophecies. So if you're watching right now, put your name there or put up you want the text that I've already got in a PDF, and I will give you those so you can read them. this, no. And now this, by rejecting the YV, this would be continuing that by saying, for they set up for themselves pillars, and it's not pillars, it's got to be altars. Altars. Altars for ashram. And now, who is she? She is the female goddess, the daughter of Ra, the sun god. So this and this, and the highest hills. Actually, they made under every green tree they grew vines. So if you ever seen the picture of the Vatican on the inside, they got this great big wall with a great big vine on it. So that's the correlation of what they did in Israel, saying that it was their God was spreading like a vine. Okay. So by the way, the popes have never truly believed our Creator exists. His sex practice is meditating and having sex with a so-called female goddess, and I've showed that those verses in Malachi 2:11, where it says Judah the nation had married the daughter of a foreign god. So this would be and finds their every tree. And there, that's I can't break that up. You'd have to say burnt incense and vines under every tree. They would burn incense. Fur. Okay, because high places I think is back up here. Highest hills, yep. I went too far. Okay. I know I have prophecies that why he sent him away. So why they sent them I'm just going to say that's carried and sent. That's so close. I think I can use that. Sometimes I do it yellow. Away into exile. Or disobeying YHVH'S, disobeying. Now this I'm going to use yellow. And I'm going to even say that's so far away, but I think that's the intent of is disobeying. So I'll leave it this way. Okay. Don't need that. See, this is I got to use the word yet. YV. Had warned Israel over here and get it. His prophets in every see that's I said there's a lot of text that's already been said in other books. This has got to be the warning through these prophets. Saying, return to me from your evil ways, from your evil life. Saying, return to me from your evil life and keep my commandments. And that's the agreement to enter into heaven. So, yes. This has already been said. This has been said. This doesn't need to be in the text. However, they did not listen. But stiffened their neck I guess I could do that. However, they did not listen to him. I'm going to get rid of this. I like some of the text here. Their fathers who didn't like their parents. It has to be parents. Got to include females here. Like their parents. They did not believe in YB, their creator. Okay, that's 3 verses. This, they already rejected everything. So this doesn't need to be there. This oh, I wanted to see if I could include this. Ra is the sun god. Okay, now this is very important why I'm putting this text in. And the heaven was where the stars are at. So to note the star heaven, because with a little h, it means the sky is where the birds fly. And above the North Star, if you don't know where heaven is at, is where our Creator was ascending to. Moses was asked, looked to heaven and asked for the plagues. Jesus turned to heaven and looked to feed the people, for a blessing to feed the people. But this was in heaven. Now, this means in the hosts, we know them as stars. They knew them as gods. They were their practice for their salvation to enter heaven was to sit and meditate, to have sex with the so-called female goddess, and then when they died, they would ascend into heaven. And you don't think I'm some of you have been around and seen some of these pictures, but this is Ra, the sun god, on this crescent moon day, which is on every female goddess's head here. This is Athena in Greek and Rome. And where is my other? Oh, here it is. And what they did, this is from Tibet. One day a year, they would sit and meditate, and there's this ball that goes around their body, this big crescent moon, this big ball caused by the 3 drops in the pituitary gland. Or it could mean of the 3 times for having sex with the moon goddess, either or. But then they would send it out their head, and then they would die. So this is what this is talking about here in images. Before people had writings, they would show it in images. And some of them learned how to actually, let me see, pop a hole right through their head. The Chinese would pop it through their forehead. So I've got a picture of a skull they found in Africa that literally has a hole in the forehead, although it looks like they shaped the hole to be perfect. But okay. So this is, they worshipped all the gods in heaven. And what here, this is the intent of this word. Or Ra, so that is going to be kept. This has already been said. And made for themselves. Images of their gods. Or they made images for themselves. They made for themselves images for their goddess. This would be cast images. So it's pouring them into molds. So cast images made for her. Okay, now this is the one I've been using. So up here, where's the hymn? Right here. By the way, these are the three names that they had for the three goddesses of the moon in the Hebrew text. Whoops. I better click on this, get back here, and I'll save that. Okay. They did not make them pass through fire. This has been said, that's been said. So don't need any of that. And this, we know Judah just by reason that they're talking about Israel. Don't have to need Judah. Now this would be then Judah becoming a evil nation. Did not keep the commandments from her creator. I would say now, so this word, now Judah was, I think that's a better word, was not keeping, because at a certain point, the next king coming up after Ezekiel really did stupid shit. And let me show you here in the timeline. Because now that they're gone, and a lot of them did flee into Judah, this king here that we haven't got to yet in the text, he makes an image of the goddess and he puts it into the our creator's meeting room with him. That means the priests now have to be all corrupt against creator. So this king is, so this is what this text is telling me, that yes, now Judah was not keeping the commandments from YHVH creator. Okay, so that could have been happening at the same time during Zeke's time as well, through here. So, but I know at the end of his 9 years, so right about in here, is Isaiah still there. And that's going to come up here pretty soon in the text, next chapter or two. And this we already got. They're just saying it differently. Already been said. This, yes, they all went into. Now this, it is no. At King Hezekiah's time, I was just saying that Isaiah says that he's going to send him back because he heard a rumor that Babylon is fighting with, well, that he says that you'd have to have a commander rushing away because he got the news that Babylon is now fighting up there and need more men up there to fight. So the army most likely went up there, but they did take captive of these last three. And I don't have these three actually in the text yet. So I've got to make sure that that's in there. But this is not true. Oh, yeah, no, this is not true. This is just being made up. No, but then they're going to send a Levite to help understand the customs of their God, and the Creator's going to be easy on them because they did not know the customs of their God in that land. They were going to teach them, and our Creator has actually told them that the survivors are actually the good ones that were still obeying Him. That our Creator felt that they were the best, and now that they've been sent into captivity, their descendants will return if they're listening to the prophet, and that would get them on board to say, don't do this. That's why we're not in our land anymore, because they did hand down their history to their children. I mean, that's one thing that they Israelis always did. um, Even when they were in Egypt, they did that. And yep, let him teach. Yeah, take one of the priests whom you carried away into exile. No, they didn't know. That's just. And they came to live in Bethel and taught them how to fear YHVH. No, they wouldn't. No, you have to know more of the text like I do, that they were mocking our Creator. So that's why our Creator sent them away through Isaiah. He heard their mocking of him. So they're still trying to say they brought these guys down from Babylon, and now they're going to teach them these guys had these gods, these guys burned their children for these gods of whatever, and then they had their high places for them. Nope. Nope. More text not needed. Oh, no. I just got done explaining they would be teaching their children. Boy, they got a lot of stuff in here that's. They wouldn't teach other gods or fear other gods. They would be using the word false gods, because when you put the S on the title gods, you're changing the definition of the title God. So that's a lot of people today think that God is his name and it's actually a title for him, but the Hebrews actually used the word God they were comparing pagan gods to being our Creator, YHVH, who has promised us salvation into heaven. And they couldn't understand it, these people that were meditating. Well, why do you think the Pope who owned, or all the popes for 1,600 years were the rulers over what you're supposed to know and learn, named they left the pagan names on the moon, stars, didn't take down the zodiac signs. Yeah, this is all out as well. But did get quite a bit of text, and I'm going to clean that up now. What's this? Still haven't figured out why it jumps away from the text. It's just started doing that. Then it would be a double space, double space. Oops. Double space. And it's a double space. And those two are grouped together. That makes a good paragraph. And I was kind of wondering while I was doing that whether this is going to actually make it. Then see this here. Now we have this again. Another verse is missing, or another paragraph is missing, or maybe the next chapter will fit right in here and I get rid of these lines next time. But that'll be it for today, or for right now. Maybe I can get another video in real quick here.